The insect order Lepidoptera, which includes butterflies and moths, is named for the scales which they possess on their wings and other body regions. The name Lepidoptera literally means wing scale. These scales can be present on the wings, head, thorax, abdomen, and genitalia. They can be flat. They can be thin and hair-like, particularly on the body and edges of wings, and they can have other diverse shapes as well. Some of the colors of the scales, such as brown and black, result from pigments inside the scales, such as melanin pigments. Other scale colors, typically the red, green, blue, and iridescent colors, usually do not result from pigments within the scale, but rather how the structure of the scale reflects light. Most butterflies and moths, including the advanced group with the coiled proboscis classified in the suborder Glossata, they possess scales which are hollow, that have a space or a lumen inside, which offers better insulation. The basal moths outside this suborder and one of the families within the suborder have the more primitive condition of solid scales. These scales serve diverse functions. They can function in camouflage, insulation, and thermoregulation, especially important since flight requires a higher body temperature, a warning to predators of toxicity. So, for example, in the case of monarchs, because the larvae ingest toxins from milkweed plants, these are toxic to predators, and the bright colors advertise this to deter future predation. The opportunity to mimic toxic patterns. So there are butterflies which mimic, say, monarch butterflies, which are not toxic, but avoid predators because they have similar coloration. Eye spots and patterns which may startle predators. So for example, this moth has red on its hind wings, which appears suddenly just before it takes off, which might startle a predator. Others have spots which might resemble eyes, which might frighten a predator when they suddenly appear. Some scales are detachable and can promote escape from spider webs. In some males, there are scales which provide scents, which can attract females, and so there are diverse functions for these scales. The scales of most butterflies and moths are hollow. They have a lumen or a space inside, and this is typical of the big superorder which contains most Lepidopterans glossata. Another feature of this suborder is the presence of coiled mouth parts. The more basal moths outside this group, and one of the families within this group, have the more primitive condition of solid scales.